We noticed by the time he was 3, he really did not like to draw. He didn't like looking at books, and he was always turning things upside down. And I thought it was just his age, but it kept progressing. And we would practice day after day after day. And we started, working on letters at 2 or 3 years of age. So he had 3 or 4 years of working on that prior to kindergarten, and he still didn't know his letters when he went in. In kindergarten, we would get up like 30 to 45 minutes early just to work on sight words and the alphabet, practice writing his name because his teacher said he was falling behind. And at one point, she even asked me, she said, "Do you not work with him?" And I just wanted to say, if you only knew how hard we work with him every day. And he hated it because it was just drilling him all the time, and it was not clicking. He would cry every day we went to kindergarten, and we just walked like 2 blocks there, but he would have tears every single day. I would leave in tears. He was so stressed at kindergarten because, for one, he couldn't read some, just simple instructions. He was so worried that he was going to get things wrong because he did so often that just made him even more worried while he was at kindergarten. When I look back at his report card for kindergarten, as far as paying attention, working hard, he got great scores. But when you look at, his actual performance was so low. And it was just a horrible experience. I wish somehow I could erase that from his memory, because I remember him coming home and telling me he was stupid. And I hated that. It was frustrating because I kept thinking I was doing something wrong, that if I just practiced with him more often, it would get better, and it didn't. And he was frustrated. He hated working on it. I hated working on it. My husband would do it in the evenings, and that wasn't really fun for him to spend his time with Elijah that way when it was just a struggle each time. He could look at a world map and tell you all the continents, probably tell you 50 different countries, where they're located. He had all this knowledge, but then he couldn't read it all. When he was going into 2nd grade, we had him tested, and they said he was moderate to severe dyslexic. And I checked into different programs. Everything was just so outrageous, or it just was not feasible for our family. And I found out about the Learning Center, and that was the first time anyone actually talked to us about what dyslexia was, and everything started making sense when I started talking to them. When I first called, I bet I talked to 3 or 4 people over the course of 2 weeks, and I bet I took up 5 or 6 hours of their time, on different days, and I thought, this is the place. And then Lois sent me a packet, and I was reading through it, and I thought, this is the place. This is an answer to all of our prayers, everything we've looked for. And then I saw the cost, and I thought, there's no way we can do this, and that was very difficult for us to think, we just can't come up with this. So when we were able to get the scholarships, it was phenomenal for us, because the Learning Center has thoroughly changed not only Elijah's life and his future, but our whole family. The frustration level isn't there anymore. The just struggling from day to day in school, because I continue to homeschool, it's just not there. was so exciting. When we would walk into one of the theme parks, he would take a map and he would open up the map and he would help us decide where we were going. And he would read everything on the map when we were walking through the parks. He would see different signs and he would read them. And that may seem very, very minor, but to our family, it's huge. And there were times I just wanted to cry because I was so excited that he actually found that exciting to be able to read those things. The last few years I thought this child is never going to like to read, and his dad reads constantly. I love to read, and I thought I hated that he didn't like it. And one night I walked into his room and he had a flashlight and he was sitting there reading in his bed. And he looked at me and he said, "Is it okay that I'm reading?" And I was like, "You read as long as you want." And it was just so exciting. And he said, "You know, I finally love to read." And the difference from reading those, you know, small little books that are so not interesting to reading books he loves, you know, reading books about dinosaurs, and he's reading the series on How to Train Your Dragon, and he just loves it now. It's not a struggle at all.